So welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm here to present on the Power User Within, and these are some best practices to make Box work better for you as an end user. So the previous session was about administrative controls. We're all about freedom for the user, and we'd like to give a lot of controls to the end user as well, and I want to walk you through some of those. So for those of you who are already doing awesome, crazy cool things on top of Box, apologies if I'm repeating some things you already know about, but for the rest of you, I hope to hear some oohs and ahs about some of the things that we offer. So who am I? Well, I'm Brandon, and I am a senior product manager at Box. I've been with Box for coming up on a year and a half, and my responsibilities are pretty far-reaching, but primarily I deal in the web application and with all those features that touch the end users. So usability, search, preview, sharing, and collaboration, those all fall under me. And really quite simply, my job is to keep Box simple and sexy. I have a very consumer-focused background, and that's something that we pride ourselves on here at Box, and hope to bring that to the product. So with that, I'll move forward. So what are we going to cover today? Well, uploads are really important things. You got to get your stuff into Box, and we have lots and lots of ways for you to do that. So I'm going to show you a few of those. I'm going to talk to you about sharing, lots of ways to share your content. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing all those tools, as well as using some of the security tools around sharing. And then finally, collaboration, which we treat a little bit differently than sharing. Inviting collaborators into Box and being able to collaborate on content with them. So I'm going to show you some of the advanced features that are available to our end users for controlling collaboration. And so with that, let's just jump right in. And so I'm going to try and keep this lively, even though I'm going to be heads down demoing the product. Raise your hand if you have any questions, wave it so that when I look up I see it. Those will all be good things. All right, so let's start off with uploading. Uploading is pretty simple, straightforward. There's an upload button on every page. And that button allows you to do a couple things. One, if you just push it, quick and simple, you can select multiple files at once. You can select as many as you'd like, choose them, upload them right into Box. Piece of cake. Now, sometimes you have entire folders that you want to get into Box, and that's a little more of a challenge. Natively, browsers don't allow you to do a lot of that. And so we have a Java applet that you can install, and that's accessed from this drop-down menu here. So we call it bulk upload. If you go there, you'll see a quick install of a Java applet. It should ask me permission in just a second. Maybe. It's great when it works. When it opens up, so I have to allow access, and then I get this additional window here. So I can drag files or folders directly into here, or I can just select them. Let's drag and drop them, that's more fun. Okay. Managing lots of windows here. So you see a bunch of folders here. I can drag them right in and drop them and upload them, and I'll get a nice status message about progress. And what this is doing is it's uploading a folder, the files in that folder, any subfolders in that folder. So several directories deep if you need to do that. So it's a great way to upload content. Obviously, we showed off sync today, another great way to upload. So the upload's complete. It's much more lively over there. You guys maybe chose the wrong presentation. So you'll notice that my folder was uploaded inside all the files, any subfolders that existed in there. So that's worthy of maybe a ooh and an ah. There we go. Thank you. So let's see what's next. Did I have any questions on either of those? Yes?
Limitations on folder depth?
There are no limitations, although you may run into some if you have something really deep. I'd recommend that you use sync for something that's really complex.
Is that just enterprise or is also business?
So the question is this available to enterprise or business? This is available to everybody, free users as well.
The collaboration, are you inheriting the collaboration on the top folder?
Yes, you are. Yeah, so all of our permissions are waterfall, and that'll extend here. So something else, we showed off drag and drop today, so you can drag files directly from your desktop into the web application. That's pretty sexy. Something that I really like is that every folder that we have has an email address associated with it. So I can take content from my email and send it directly to Box. So if you've ever had an attachment sent to you, you want to get it to Box. You don't want to have to download it, upload it again. Really easy way to do that. So for this particular folder, I can upload to this folder, and there's an option to email files to this folder. Our connection seems to be a little slow, so we'll see what happens here. But so as you see, there's an email address associated with this folder. You have to enable that email address, so it's not just enabled for every folder, but once you do, it's available. And then if I go to my email, in yet another window here, you'll see I have the email address here, I have a file attachment, and I can just send it directly to that folder. So this will work with multiple files. Really simple way to get stuff out of kind of this traditional way of sharing and into Box, so you can work with it from there. And I'll get a confirmation message from Box in my email. Yes?
Like a one-time address that is generated?
Yeah, it has a hash associated with it that's unique to the folder and unique to our system.
So it doesn't persist after that?
Oh, no, it persists. Yeah, so it's not a one-time thing. It's a folder specific. So you'll enable it, and it'll be enabled for the life of the folder. You can then disable it, but if you re-enable it, it'll be the same email address as it was previously.
Is there a way to restrict who could send to that folder?
Yes. I think it was shown on that last. So the question, sorry, for those of you who couldn't hear it, is there a way to restrict who can send to that email address? So if I open up this pop-up again, only allow uploads from emails that match one of the collaborators in this folder. So this will allow only my collaborators to upload to this folder. I could also, if I didn't have this checked like I don't now, I could distribute this email address to anyone who's not in this folder. They could upload content via their email.
Can you send the whole folder from email?
You cannot.
Okay.
Yep, just files. Question, yeah.
Is there any thought of supporting text being sent to the email address and then converting it to a web doc or a text file?
We were just discussing that the other day. Not something that we have planned, but something that we're giving a lot of thought to. So I would expect to see it in the future, yeah.
We would like that as well.
Yeah, that would be really
All right, on it. Okay, +1, good. Each folder does have its own unique email address.
That email address, each time you know it's going directly into that folder.
Exactly, yep. And so you can save those as contacts in your email client with the folder name so you know where you're sending to, which is a great way to organize that. Yeah. Sure. It is not currently, but that's a great suggestion. The question was, is it a part of the Android or iPhone app? It is not currently, but that's a great suggestion. So I'll relay that one. I'm sorry, say again?
If anybody can get to the application quickly, why do you need to have the email to the folder? Why can't you just go through the folder and drop the document?
So that's a good question. Why do you need this tool when you have so many other ways to upload? It's just a matter of preference, I think. A lot of people work primarily out of their email, and a lot of people who are not, or who are collaborating with people outside of Box are still trading messages and attachments via email. So it's a really good, quick way to get that email attachment from your email system and into Box efficiently. So I'm going to move on because we got, okay, one more. Yes.
Quick question on that. I sent somebody a link to that, and they said, I never open a link. I just always want an email attachment. Do you have any kind of retort to that, or?
I don't have any retort. It sounds like everyone heard, but yeah, we don't deal in email attachments in Box. When you want to send, a link, we have a direct link that'll, directly download the file or to our preview. but you know, it saves you from dealing with upload or limits on emails and things of that nature. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and finally, one other cool thing that I really like, again, in upload to this folder. Let's see, maybe not on this folder. So let's say you wanted to run something, you wanted to run, say, a video contest, or you wanted to get submissions from people within your company. We also have an upload widget that you can embed in your site. So you can embed it. It can be externally facing, where people visiting your site could contribute their files for a video contest or something of that nature, or something where maybe the company is contributing, so in an internal site that you have. So the way this looks, simple. You can choose the file in your system, add a description. We ask for an email address to be associated with it, so you know when those things are coming in, who they're from, and that content will be then added to that folder. So this is enabled per folder as well. Any questions? Yes?
Is there any thoughts of letting enterprises take off that branding?
There is. So the question is, can enterprises remove the branding? Currently they cannot, but certainly expect to see that in the near future, yeah. So I'm going to move on to sharing, unless there's anything else. We're moving a little slowly in here. Let's see if I hop to another one. So with every file and folder and box, we have a series of sharing options. I'm going to walk you through those very quickly. We'll go here first. For those of you who don't have it enabled for your account, we've got video preview available now. So you know, call up your reps, get that enabled for your account. It's great. We support 9 different types of movie files. But you'll notice the share this file section along the side here. And this allows you to do a number of things with this file. These options are also available for folders. So you can send. And this is pretty straightforward. Rather than sending an attachment in an email, this allows you to send the share URL to any file or folder for someone to access. This gives you the link that you can copy and paste into IM, for example. We have a post functionality, which is not available in Enterprise currently, although in the next couple of weeks that'll be rolling out. This is where our Yammer and soon Chatter integrations will live. So you can post directly to either of those services. Embed, you can embed a file. So what's really neat about the video preview, since it's a previewed file that we support now, you can embed a video in your site directly from Box. So that works just great. And then a link to all of our mobile options, so you can quickly get access to any of the mobile applications that we offer. But what's really interesting, I think, about some of our share URL are the settings here. So you can password protect any of our share files. And this is as simple as just entering a password. Now, anyone who you give this link to needs to know that password to be able to access it. It's a great security feature. If you're concerned about these URLs getting out into the wild, you can really control who has access, so no one can kind of forward it on and on and on, and you kind of lose control of it. You can also set access permissions for any of these share URLs, so people who are visiting it can enable the preview, or they can, they can preview it only, or you can allow them to download it, or you can preview and download it together. Yeah.
On the mobile app, do you have to know what mobile device the end user has?
So here,
Yeah.
so this is for the end user, basically just quick access to the application for your phone. The question was about this mobile tab. Each of these link to a site where you can download the application for your particular device. So if I'm visiting this and I have an iPhone, I just click that and I can easily get to the iPhone app. Yeah, in the back.
So, within the web browser, can you actually email an attachment, or is it only a link?
Within the web browser, it's only a link, yes. We have a direct link, so for our enterprise customers, there is a concept of a direct link, which does not go to the Box application. It actually directs you to a download of the file, but that's the closest we get to actually attaching the file to a message. it helps us avoid things like limits on emails, so that we make sure that those attachments go through. Any other questions? Yeah? So currently, no. It's just the password. Although Aaron shared in the keynote some advanced settings that we'll be adding. So it would allow me to restrict this, for example, to only people within my domain. In which case, we would verify that they have an account with a validated email address at that domain through Box.net before granting access. So that's coming in Q4. Yeah.
There's an update to a file. What's the best way to provide context about it?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, for example, referring to the earlier demonstration about syncing.
Yep.
So just the fact that a new version of the file has been synced to my desktop,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily care about the new version of this file.
Sure.
It doesn't really tell me anything. So how do you provide context for this change? Why should I, as a user, receiving an update,
Mm-hmm.
look at that file?
So I think everyone could hear that question. What we do at Box is we add comments. So when things are important, we add a comment. We annotate who needs to be paying attention. So in terms of best practices, I would recommend leaving a comment as to who this is important for and what the updates are. So quickly, I'm going to dive into collaboration. These are some things that you may have not seen before. And we're going to jump out into the containing folder. So if I go to folder properties, all right, we're going to try something else here. All right, folder properties. There's a set of advanced properties associated with every folder. I can disable sharing links across the entire folder. This again is a waterfall permission, so it applies to all the subfolders as well. If I enable that, I can choose, do I want to disable links for the folders in that file, for the subfolders in that folder, for the files in that folder, or for both. So this is something if you have a more secure folder that you're concerned about, access, people accessing it who don't have permission, you can simply disable the share URLs in that one particular folder rather than disabling it across the enterprise. You can restrict invite privileges. For those of you I've heard a lot about concerned about kind of sprawl. You can restrict the invite privileges in any particular folder so that only the owner of that folder can invite new users rather than allowing your editors and so on to invite other collaborators into the folder. You can hide collaborators, which is a great feature, especially if you're taking, say, bids from third-party contractors or something. You don't want them to see one another. All they'll see is you as the owner of the folder as being a collaborator in that folder. They won't see anybody else who's associated with that folder. You can disable commenting in a folder if that's something that concerns you. A lot of times these two go in parallel. You hide the collaborators, you also hide the comments. And then this last one is something when you're using the upload by email or the widget that I showed you to upload, you have a choice to either overwrite files if they come in with the same name, or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can have them name each other, like a +1 of the file, just in case you have same name issues. Any questions with those? I kind of blew through those because we're running low on time. Yes, sir. So the question was, can the hidden collaborators see each other's content? And the answer is yes. So they can see all the content in the folder, but they cannot see who is contributing that content or who the other collaborators are.
But a person's name is associated with it, so they can kind of...
I don't believe they can see that information. They should lose information about the people who it's associated with, yes. That's correct. So the question was, does that extend to comments as well? And the answer is yes.
So is it disabling or hiding
It's disabling. This disables commenting in this case. Yep. Yes.
I don't know if this is gonna be the right place to ask my question, but I deal with a lot of people who use QuickBooks.
Okay.
Not QuickBooks Online, but the old time software version, and some of them are looking to, go to Box and all that. Can you upload a QuickBooks company file and store it there, and have them pull it down, or whoever else needs to use it and open it in their version of QuickBooks?
So the question was QuickBooks. I don't know specifically about how they can access that content. The short answer is you can upload anything to Box and anyone can download it. There are some restrictions on QuickBooks in our sync client because of the way that files get overwritten in that case. But through the web application, you can upload anything. Anyone can pull it down. I don't know how they use it on the other end, though.
That's what I just needed to know from the company file itself. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
Can I just confirm, you said you have to ask your account person at Box to enable video preview, is that?
That's correct. So the question is, how do I get video preview? Basically, give us a call. It's enabled per enterprise. And that's just to allow us to understand who's using the feature since it's relatively new. And keep tabs on you guys. Make sure that, that you're using it wisely, but also that you can be in touch with us if you encounter any issues. I think this is probably our last question. Well, I'll do two more here. Yeah.
Sort of further to the question regarding making sure that people understand why they should look at content and new content, one sort of complaint that we get from a lot of our users is that when they enable being pinged every time there's a comment on one of their files, they're inundated with pings about folder or about files.
Mhm.
That is annoying. Similarly, the Daily Digest can be such a huge chunk of info that it's difficult for them to discern what they should be paying attention
Sure.
to.
So-
one thing we would love to see is like a landing page where we could message people, please look at this,
Sure.
or whatever. Do you have any other suggestions?
So I think the question was, why do we get so many emails about stuff that's really not important to us? And can we do something better? The good news is, this is something that I've been working on since basically I got to Box. We are completely rewriting our notification system. We're giving more control over more email types, and we're splitting that up between folders I own versus folders I'm a collaborator in to give you much more granular ability to control those email notifications. So you are getting the ones that are most important to you. You can also control them at the folder level, turn them totally off for a folder, turn them on. We're also rewriting the Daily Digest, so it's much more consumable, much easier to understand. So those changes should be coming out in the next month. So please get in touch with me after that happens and let me know if it's solving some of your problems. One more quickly, yes.
You can either share files with people or invite them to be a collaborator.
Mm-hmm.
So from that person's point of view, what is the difference?
So the question is, what's the difference between sharing a file with someone or inviting them to be a collaborator from that person's point of view? The difference is a collaborator needs to be a Box user. And so they will need to sign up for an account if they don't have one already, and they'll need to come in. But the control that you get by inviting them as a collaborator is you see exactly who has accessed the information, when. You can control that sprawl a little bit more than you can with share URLs. You'll see the IP address. You can see access stats about who, when things are being accessed, but you won't know exactly who. And so if they are in the system, you know who it is, when they accessed it, when they downloaded it, when they previewed it, and that's the benefit.
When it's just a share?
So the question is, can they comment when it's just a share? If it's a shared folder, they can comment on the files. If it's a shared file, they cannot comment.
Shared folder.
Right. Yep. So I think we're going to call that quits for the day. There's a lot more to know about Box. There's a Genius bar. So please stop by there and talk to us if you have specific use cases or questions that I didn't answer, or if there's stuff that I did mention that you just want to know more about, because this was really fast. But thanks for joining, and we'll see you around.